Today we will see John Milton's Lycidas. Lines 1 to 14 says that Lycidas is dead. Milton wants to mourn his death. Lycidas himself was a great poet, so his death must not be remain unsung. Milton says that his poetic abilities are not yet fully matured. Even then, he will write an elegy to express his grief. Lines 15 to 36, the poet invokes the muses to help him to mourn the death of his friend. He hopes that some other poet will mourn for him when he himself dies. Milton says that he and Edward King were close friends at Cambridge. The poet remembers his happy college life. Lines 37 to 49, all nature mourns the death of Lycidas. To the poet, the death of Lycidas is as mortal as frost to flowers. It is as deadly as canker to the rose. From lines 50 to 63, Milton questions the nymphs, the goddess of river and mountains, about the death of his friend. He asks them why they failed to save his friend. He blames them for not being present when Lycidas drowned. Then he checks himself. He realizes the futility of his complaint. He realizes that even gods and goddesses are helpless before death. Lines from 64 to 84 says that the poet comments on the decline of poetry in his age. It is useless to devote oneself night and day to the writing of serious poetry. People do not care for serious poetry. It is much better to write love lyrics. Other poets do the same. It is fame which makes a poet work hard. The poet lives laborious days in the service of poetry. But just when a poet is near fame and popularity, fate cuts short his life. So the poet dies, but Apollo, the god of poetry, reminds the poet that true fame is not of the world. Real fame does not depend on the opinion of the people of the world. True fame arises from the approval of God Himself. That fame is immortal. It lives on even after the death of the poet. Therefore, Milton need not feel unhappy. He will definitely get the reward he deserves. Lines 85 to 102. The digression about fame is over. The poet returns to his main theme, the death of Lycidas. When his ship was wrecked, the ocean was calm and quiet. There was no storm blowing, so the ship must be blamed for the tragedy. It must have been constructed under an eclipse. It must have been crushed. From lines 103 to 131 says that Milton now introduces a procession of mourners. They were all mourning the death of Lycidas. One of them is Camus. He represents the University of Cambridge. He also represents the friends and teachers of Edward King. The other mourner is St. Peter. He mourns the death of Edward King because King was intended for church. He would have been a true priest. Through St. Peter, Milton criticizes the corrupt church of his times. Lines 130 to 164. After criticizing the corrupt church, Milton again returns to the main theme. He asks the pastoral muse to collect flowers to cover the dead body of Lycidas. Then he remembers that Lycidas has drowned. His body has not been recovered, so the flowers cannot cover the dead body of Lycidas. Thus, even this consolation is denied to the poet. Lines 165 to 185, Milton ends his elegy on a note of consolation and hope. Though drowned in the ocean, Lycidas is not dead in reality. Like the sun, he would rise again. he would live a happier and nobler life in some other place. He will be in heaven, the kingdom of God. He would become a guardian angel of the area where he drowned. He would protect people who sail in that dangerous area. In lines 196 to 193, in the final lines, Milton forgets that he is writing a pastoral elegy. He speaks in his own person. With the setting of the sun, he ends his lament. He departs to fresh wood and pasture new. Thank you.